I was driving home from my sister's Halloween party. Midnight, fog crawling low over the highway. The road outside town was empty, the kind of dark that swallows headlights. Then I saw them, pumpkins. Dozens of them, lined neatly on both sides of the road, each one glowing faintly. Their faces were different, not goofy, not silly. Just watching. The farther I drove, the brighter they burned. The first few had wide eyes, then frowns, then one that looked almost surprised. I slowed down, feeling like I had just interrupted something waiting. At first, I thought it was a decoration trail, some Halloween stunt. But the spacing was wrong. Too perfect. Exactly 10 feet between each one. I rolled the window down. The air smelled like burnt wax and something else, like wet dirt. My radio crackled once, then went silent. Every time my headlights caught another pumpkin, its eyes seemed smaller, tighter, like they were narrowing at me. One of them had a chip in the side. I could swear the cut looked like a scar I have on my cheek. I stopped the car halfway down the trail. The silence felt too heavy. I opened the door, stepped onto the cold asphalt. The air was thick, like breathing through smoke. The pumpkins hummed softly, or maybe it was the wind dragging through their hollow mouths. I crouched near one, the light flickering from inside. The candle wasn't wax. It was a small lump of something wet and red. It moved when I leaned closer. I stumbled back, heart pounding. That's when I noticed there were footprints. Small, bare ones leading off the road into the woods. I followed the prints with my phone light, every step slower than the last. The fog pressed around me, muffling every sound except my own breathing. The footprints ended at a clearing. Dozens of pumpkins sat there too, circling something. In the middle, a scarecrow, but its clothes weren't straw-filled. They sagged like something heavy inside. The head was another carved pumpkin, its grin jagged and deep. As I stared, the candle inside it flared, and then the scarecrow's hand twitched. I backed away, slow, trying not to make noise. The thing's head turned slightly. I heard the sound of stems tearing. It looked at me. The grin widened. I ran. Branches whipped across my face as I crashed through the trees. Behind me, I could hear them, the soft thuds of feet, many feet, running on dirt. I broke through the treeline onto the road, breath sharp, heart hammering. My car was gone. Just empty space, and in its place, another pumpkin. It had my car keys jammed into its mouth. I ran down the road, the fog swallowing everything. The pumpkins lined both sides again, but now, each one looked different, faces stretched like they were screaming. The glow pulsed as I passed, one after another, until the light ahead of me changed color. Blue. Cold. A shape stood there, tall, thin, human but wrong. Its shadow twisted, stretching across the road like smoke. It lifted one arm. In its hand was a candle, the flame the same sick red I'd seen before. The figure didn't move at first. It just stood there, holding that red flame like it was waiting for me to speak. The wind cut through the trees, carrying whispers that weren't the wind. My phone buzzed in my pocket, no signal, no time. I shined the light at its face, but there was none. Just shadow. Then it started walking. Slow. Each step crunched on the gravel, steady, like it knew I couldn't outrun it. I turned and ran again, lungs burning, my legs screaming. I saw another light ahead, faint orange through the mist. I thought maybe it was a house, a porch light, anything human. When I got closer, I realized it was more pumpkins. Hundreds now. They filled the field on both sides, flickering in perfect rhythm. Each one carved differently, some smiling, some crying. And in the center of the field, that same figure was waiting. It didn't walk there. It just was, like the fog brought it ahead of me. The whispers grew louder, like children laughing under their breath. My eyes watered from the smoke that wasn't smoke. I dropped to my knees, the air too thick. Something touched my shoulder, light, almost gentle. When I turned, it was a hand, pale and thin, pulling me back toward the road. I don't remember running after that. I only remember the sound of my car door slamming shut and headlights snapping on, though I never touched the keys. The trail behind me was empty. No pumpkins. No fog. Nothing. I drove until sunrise. When I finally looked back, the backseat window was fogged, words traced across it. 3 simple ones. See you again. The next morning, the news showed a segment on a local festival trail, the Pumpkin Path, set to open that weekend. Same stretch of road. Same name. I called the county office to ask where they were building it. The woman paused before answering. That trail, she said quietly. We shut that down years ago, after the accident. That Halloween night, my power went out around 9. The neighborhood was still buzzing, kids laughing, porch lights blinking, plastic skeletons rattling in the wind. I lit a few candles and went upstairs to check the breaker. When I passed the hallway mirror, something fell off. My reflection was there, but the candles in it weren't flickering. The flames in my hand moved, but the ones in the reflection burned still, cold and blue. I thought it was a trick of the light, until my reflection blinked when I didn't. I froze. Every instinct told me not to move, but I leaned closer anyway. My reflection's expression changed slightly, but enough. Its mouth pulled into a faint grin, and then I heard a soft scrape behind the glass, like fingernails dragging across it. I stepped back, heart thudding. The lights flickered once, twice, then nothing. In the dark, I could still see that faint grin glowing, the outline of a face pressed against the other side. I grabbed my phone, tried to take a picture, but the camera wouldn't focus. Just static. My reflection tilted its head slowly, like it was listening. Then it raised a hand. Mine didn't move. I dropped the phone, staring. The fingers on the other side tapped, once, twice, then stopped, leaving faint marks, streaks of red that looked too real. I turned away and ran down the hall, but every mirror I passed showed the same face, following me closer each time. In the bathroom, I slammed the door shut and flipped on my flashlight. The small mirror above the sink was cracked. I covered it with a towel, trying to steady my breath. My phone buzzed, unknown number. The text read, "Stop covering the glass." My chest went cold. I turned the flashlight toward the towel. It moved, just slightly, like something was breathing beneath it. I backed away, shaking. Then I heard my own voice from the other side of the door. "You shouldn't look away." The voice outside the door sounded exactly like mine, calm, steady, but wrong in rhythm. Every few words came with a pause, like it was learning how to speak. I pressed my back to the wall, trying not to make a sound. Then came the tapping again, gentle, deliberate. The towel fell from the mirror. My reflection was standing there, but I wasn't moving. It smiled wider, lifted its hand, and on the fogged glass it began to write. The letters were slow, backwards. "Let me out." I bolted out of the bathroom, sprinting downstairs. The house felt smaller, the walls too close. Every window reflected me from a different angle, but the reflections didn't match. Some turned their heads, others stood still. I smashed one with a chair. Glass exploded, but behind it wasn't a wall, just dark, endless space. I could hear faint whispering from inside, my own voice repeating, "You let me in first." The front door was locked, the knob freezing cold. The candles had gone out. Only the mirror by the hallway remained glowing faint blue. I tried not to look, but something moved within the glass, shifting like smoke. Then two pale hands pressed from the inside, pushing forward, stretching the surface like water. I stumbled backward as a face began forming, mine again, but older, hollow-eyed. It whispered something I couldn't hear. My phone buzzed once more. New message. "It's your turn now." The mirror rippled once and cracked from the center. Light poured through, cold, colorless light. I could see movement inside, shapes crawling, dozens of reflections bending and twisting. The voice came again, but now it wasn't just mine. It was hundreds, layered, echoing. "We waited. You looked too long." My phone camera turned on by itself, pointing at me. On the screen, I wasn't alone. Something stood behind me, a dark outline with my face. I turned, swinging wildly, but nothing was there. Just silence, and the smell of iron and dust. The mirror was still broken, but in each shard my reflection was still moving, still whispering. One by one, the shards began to flicker, their blue light dimming. I picked up my phone again. The camera was still open. The last thing I saw on the screen was the figure stepping closer. The feed glitched, and then it smiled. They found my phone the next morning, screen cracked, camera still recording. The video showed me standing in front of that mirror, staring, unmoving, for hours. In the final few seconds, the reflection turned, looked into the lens, and mouthed the words, "Next Halloween." They say if you break a mirror on Halloween night, your reflection doesn't die. It waits, and when the candles go out again, it remembers your face.